Our final inductee this evening. I'm supposed to read a script, and I will. But before I do that, I just want to say he's one of my best friends on this planet. He's a man whose words make pictures brighter. When Mark Zona says something, it means more. Mark Zona discovered his lifelong passion for fishing at the age of 4 in Sturgis, Michigan. Winning his first bass tournament at 9 ignited his competitive drive. Transitioning from selling boats to competing at a national level, he won the FLW EverStart Northern Division Angler of the Year in 2003. Zona's television career blossomed when he joined ESPN Outdoors in 2004, hosting Loudmouth Bass and later the world's greatest fishing show, today known as Zona's Awesome Fishing Show. His online presence expanded with Zona Live and other shows, garnering over 15 million YouTube views. A mainstay with bass, Zona pioneered live tournament coverage, captivating audiences worldwide with his passion for fishing. Please welcome to the 2024 Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, Mark Zona.
Thank you. Wow. If you thought Skeets was long, get ready for this one. No, we're going to slow things down. Evidently, some of y'all don't really know that there's a Thursday night football game. Cowboys, Giants. Anyway, here's what's really weird. Here's what's so strange. I take notes. I've taken notes for 20 years with Tommy just so I wouldn't let him down, and I've taken a bunch of notes. And I know I'm not going to look at them at all. I'm so horrible at public speaking. I'm not kidding. You could tell me that camera has 2 million people behind it, and I'm all good. But to sit in front of 6 junior high kids, I start shaking and trembling. So to be in front of this room, I'm a little more stressed out, to be honest with you. Before I go into a quick story, and I want to give a fishing story, hats off to the inductees, Skeet, Alfred, Mike, Fred Arbogast. I mean, I think it was the first lure I ever had. Hats off to you. And more than that, hats off to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame board. Like, I had no idea how hard y'all work. I had no idea how hard you guys work. And I learned that throughout this process. And most of all, I don't know if Johnny's still here. It's kind of getting late. Johnny, are you here? Is he here? No, he hightailed out of here. Totally did. Johnny for giving the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame a house. The Bass Fishing Hall of Fame kind of floated around for a decade or 2 or 3. Johnny gave it a house, and more than that, Johnny taught me before this room, there's been a lot of conservation dinners, and I sat in this room, and I didn't know what the word conservation meant. I do now because of him. It is that dude, even though he's not in here anymore tonight, fights for hunting and fishing rights. And when I got in a little pillow fight with our governor in Michigan, Johnny came to my defense a while back. So hats off to the inductees, the board of directors, and definitely Johnny for giving the Hall of Fame a house and really standing up for hunters and fishermen. So real quick, I'm going to have Kevin bring something up. I'm going to tell a quick fishing story about a bass that I had no idea. Guys, that's Kevin Van Dam. Thank you. Kevin's a good dude. He's a good basser. He's a good basser. So this fish right here, we were going to put it in the little, the thing Skeet made fun of, that my logo. I was also going to put a bass in there and really try to take over the whole thing. This bass right here, you get inducted into the Hall of Fame, you do a step back of why. Why am I here? And I'm going to rewind time real quick about this fish, okay? I grew up on the south side of Chicago. My dad, my mom, they worked hard. They bought a place on a lake, and all I did was fish. All I did was fish. And there was one day, there's a little bridge, a little road by a marina, and I would go down there day after day after day, and I would throw my little, remember those 3 pre-rigged worms with a split shot, right? Purple with a white stripe, that was my jam. And I throw it under that bridge, and I remember the day. I remember everything. I remember the sky. It's weird, and I don't want to get too deep. There's certain things in your life that you remember where it's ingrained in you. It's ingrained in you. And for some reason, besides meeting Karen, the only other thing that's ingrained in my head is either shooting a deer or catching a bass in my fantasy football team. And I throw up under this bridge. And there's three, at the time, I was 10 years old. And there's 3 bullies on the bridge, and I throw up under the bridge, and they're giving it to me. They're feeding it to me. Like, you're a loser, you're a dork, you're not going to catch nothing. And if y'all close your eyes right now, all I kept thinking was, just give me a bite. Give me a bite to shut them up. And they're feeding it. And back then, like 13-year-old smoked marbs, I think I probably might have bummed one. I don't know. Hackney, where you at? Seth. And as God is my witness, I could relive it right now. I skipped under the bridge to the left, and I watched my line go and rise off the water, and I got him. And it's this bass right here. It come out, and all 3 of them dudes, here's what's funny. I hate to say this is back before conservation, Johnny. I put them on a stringer, and we rode, and those 3 are behind me that were bullies. They were behind me like the scene from E.T., where they've got E.T., and I got this thing. And we go to my mom and dad's house, and here's what I know. Those dudes looked at me for the rest of my life. They're older than me. That bass fishing was cool. Bass fishing was cool. It wasn't till they saw that. When that thing, that could have been a 20-pound smallmouth, but when it jumped, it was the biggest bass in my life. Ever. Bass fishing was cool to those 3. And as I went through my teens and fished a gazillion tournaments into my 20s, that's all I wanted people to know, that bass fishing was cool, right? It's what we're all here for. It's the only thing on earth, next to your family, it's bass fishing. And I wanted people to know that. I challenged my kids when they were born. I said, hey, listen, you're born in a bass fishing family. You show people that bass fishing's cool. So fast forward to Van Dam giving my name, and thank you. Where are you at? Thank you. I'll never take for granted you giving my name to Jerry McInnes and ESPN and Mike grabbing that name. I thought Loudmouth Bass had potential. It didn't. Jay Kumar, I love you. It was awesome, but from there to move on, I remember it was at the Pittsburgh Classic that you won, Kevin. Jerry and Mike pulled me into a meeting, and that's where it started. That's where Bassmaster started for me. Bassmaster, it's funny. I looked at the weird placard of myself. I don't look like John Daly, guys. Even though that placard looks like John Daly, I don't look like John Daly, but that placard looks like John Daly. I partied with him actually at Big Cedar once with you, Kevin. That's true. It's a true story. Bassmaster has been a part of my life. It was so long before I worked there, but the opportunity and the group that I worked with from the writers, from Louis and Hall, I took pride in that. I still take pride in that. And even though I'm not going to sit in the seat anymore, or Bassmaster Live, I'm there. Bassmaster's my life. It's my family's life. And the production group from the house on 1200 Scott Street of JM Associates and Jerry. I remember Jerry walking through the studio and said, you can't say these things on TV. And Mike would be like, let him say it. Mike, I appreciate that. The production group of JM Associates, Mike nailed it. You're all the best. I can never on earth thank you enough. From my heart, I always said this, you were my Bill Belichick. I was a handful at work every now and then, just a month ago. Yeah, no, really, I know I was. You've been an incredible business partner, a best friend, an awesome fishing partner. It was funny going through those pictures. Like I was like, damn, we're going to do a lot more of that from here on out. Tommy, thank you. Thank you. Mercer and Davey and Such, Ronnie, it's been awesome. Davey, I hate to say it, I pulled you in like 5 years ago just so I could exit 5 years ago until the jihad happened. I mean this when I say it. You never sat me down. You never sat me down and said, you need to do this, need to do this, need to do this. I've never been able, besides the scorpion that I'm married to, Karen, I've never been able, she is a scorpion. She's beautiful, but unpredictable. It's true, actually. You don't jack with that stuff. You have been incredible to sit next to and learn from, and I owe you so much, and I got news. I don't know how, where, we ain't done. I'm not. I mean, right now I am. I mean, I'm going to enjoy the next. There's something else out there. But from there to Zona World and the crew that I've worked with in Zona World of Michael Middleton, McInnes, Wes, Carrie. Carrie started. We used to say in some shitholes too, didn't we? It's a little better now. To everybody that works on Zona Show, of the animation department, of Bruce and Kevin and Breedlove, Wes and Carrie and Evie and Vandy. Where are you at, Vandy? You better behave tonight, number one. We're a tight-knit group. We're a tight-knit group. We're a small group that my biggest thing with having a fishing show outside of Bassmaster, and Bassmaster was the platform that I used. I think we bounced off of each other, but they helped build Zona Show into a fishing show that didn't look like anything that's ever been out there. And I appreciate all of you for that. The sponsors, Mercer says don't do this, Ram, Bass Pro Shops, Mercury, Rather Outdoors, Eagle Claw, I don't know where you're at, Jackson, Kilburn, where are you at? Johnson Outdoors, Power Pole, TH Marine, Seagar, AFCO. They have supported me my entire career, supported my family. Other side of it is I know it's not easy to get here, and I know a lot of friends that aren't in the fishing industry came to this. It means a ton to me. I look at all the friends that are here, but looking at Zona's show, there's been the guests that I've had on there, from Seth. Where are you at, Seth? Yeah, that's right. You're just standing there so you can go burn a marb. I'll be out there in a minute. I'll be out there. It doesn't count tonight, Karen. It doesn't count. Hackney, KVD, Ayler, Skeet, I know you've been on there. Aaron Martins has been on the show more than anybody on earth. But besides Bassmaster, JM Associates, Zona crew, friends, my family is it. It's my existence. My mom is not here. I'd fish for like 40 or 50 days straight, and my dad would be like, hey, you actually need a job. And my mom would say to my dad, you leave him alone. Number one, thank you for listening to her. Thank you for listening to Mom. But my dad still doesn't think I have a real job, and I got news. You are absolutely spot on, dude. Bonnie is not here anymore, and it was funny. Van Dam and I were looking at this, and that's her writing on the back of it, and she always said, I don't care what you do, just try to do the best you can do. Just be the best at what you do. And I've tried to live up to that. And Dad, I mean this. Thank you for taking me trolling and fishing. And we sucked when we started. You still do. I mean, but you're baby steps. It's been awesome. Dad gets a lot of free fishing stuff now. Hunter and Jacob, your girlfriends, I look up to you guys. I look up to you. You have grown into something I was not. I was a handful, right, at your age. Karen, stop it. You dated me. So you know. Karen, you're my best friend. You're the best human being I have ever known. And tonight is for you, but most of all, it's because of you. And I truly mean that. I don't know where I'd be without you. And I love you. I love you so much. And I owe you for being the scorpion and the CEO and making critical decisions in the company that we run. And we have a lot of things to do, But most of all, every group that I just named, okay, I want to go back to all I wanted was those three bullies, those three kids, to understand that bass fishing's cool, okay? Every group that I just listed, Bassmaster, JM Associates, Zona crew, my friends, my family, you have helped me, Ramsey, you've helped me for the last 21 years show tens of millions of people how cool bass fishing is. Thank you.